everyone and welcome to Dwellers in the Dark. I have been trying to do this video all day and unsuccessfully I've been fumbling left, right and centre with camera dying, etc. I've got to try and make this professional as possible. I'm trying to use a few bits and pieces, some new techniques, some new cameras, etc. and some new audio. It is working. I just unfortunately don't have the time to sit down and bring it to the forefront and make it look fantastic just yet, but we are trying. Okay, so this episode is about the free tickets that we gave out, or the free tickets that we were giving out, should I say, for Mr. Dan Bird's Filthy Orcs that starts Saturday. Today is Thursday. I hope to get this rendered and out to you by tomorrow morning at the latest. If not, I'm going to miss out and I'm going to look stupid. Wouldn't be a first. So, to crack on, we started doing these videos primarily to help promote tournaments, to help get bums on seats. That's our main plan. We've hit just over the 100 mark, 126 mark for subscribers, which is fantastic. We're such a small channel, but we do appreciate that, and we appreciate the support. We appreciate the fact that people do come and watch our videos. It's great. But I think maybe we need to try and get a more content in to attract more people in, to therefore when we do reviews, it'll be covered by a larger amount of groups. And then when we do free tickets, there'll be a larger response. But we had a few people who did comment, and thank you very, very much for your comments. So what I'm going to do is I've got a few pieces of paper here in the hand, dropping paper. We're going to pick one of these, and that's basically the person who's won the ticket. And what you'll do is on Saturday, you just mention it to Owen Wright, who'll be TOing there on Saturday because Dan's away working. He'll be back on Sunday, and then Bodhi converse with Dan when he comes back Sunday, and I'm sure he'll sort you out with store credit or a refund or whatever if you've already paid, and I'm sure you will at this point. I do apologise for the thing for being so late. So let's pick one of these, and the first one we pick up is going to be Mr. Steve Keane. So congratulations, Steve, you won yourself a free ticket for Filthy Orcs for this weekend. As I said, speak to Owen and speak to Dan, and well done. Now, we had quite a few comments, and I'm not going to cover comments right now regarding other videos. I will set up another video after this weekend, I do promise. I need to get on top of that, and I need to help. I need to give back to the support of the community that's given subscriptions and comments and views on our channel, so really appreciate that. But I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgot some of the army lists. I haven't forgot some of the other comments as well, so please just bear with us. The rest of this episode, I want to cover not necessarily a review of the Sterling, I am so tired, the Scouring of Cheshire. But actually I want to look at the armies that were brought by the players. And these armies were amazing. Now unfortunately there wasn't an official time for me to go around and take videotapes of all the armies. Some people put them out for best painting or most thematic prize, and some, they weren't too keen on these. They weren't really interested. So they put their armies on their trays or left them in the boxes or whatever. So we only managed to get a sprinkling of armies, but the armies we did get were amazing. And even the ones on the trays, snuck a little camera, a few pictures of those. And so we'll look at those and have a little quick walk through. So the very first one we have is from Mr. Ian Spiller, and he has taken the Mummock and Mahud Riders. What an amazing piece this Mummock is. I've always wanted one. Well, not too sure the cost though, definitely cheaper than a Smog. But on the other side, painting it for me would be, I suppose, a nightmare. They're so large. So what Ian's done is he's actually put this on Facebook, on the GBHL channel, as he does stages, and that's been fantastic. It's really enthused people. So we got the Mummock. As I said then, here we've got the top left, we have the Mahud King, and we've got 12 Mahud Raiders. Now, I'm not too familiar whether he gave them poison darts / blowpipes, or whether he gave them war spears. I would imagine possibly he gave them war spears because that helps them in their charge in combat. So I like the red cloaks that he's done. They're really, really nice. He's also got a base there for the spare mummock if there's scenery problems, etc. So the next one is by Mr. James Wilkinson, and he's brought the host of Angmar, and he's got Badur. It looks like he's got loads of orcs. He's got, I think that could be the Witch King. It might be generic on a horse, but it looked more like the Witch King. He's got the troll. He's got the, sorry, my apologies. He has the Ward Chieftain. He has the Bat Swarm. Fell Wargs in there as well. And then he has the Shade, the Barrow White, and what looks like 3 Spectres. That's a nasty shutdown list. I'm actually going to do a list like that myself, looking forward to it. And if you take a look at the backdrop, you'll also see some of the scenery that Steve put together. And it worked very, very well with the desert mat terrain. Right, so I'm going to crack on here, and we're going to look at Mr. J. Clare's army. Now, Mr. J. Clare has this famous Lake Town army, and top right you'll be able to see Bard. Behind Bard you'll see the Master of Lake Town. Then you can see Saruman the Wise. In the middle there's Galadriel with her banishment. Also hidden in the middle is Alfred with his back to us. And then lower down the bottom left hand corner of the picture we can see Floy. Now that's a dangerous, dangerous combination. Floy in that army, to me, is an undying killer. He's nasty. Couple him with Bard and Bard's might. Couple him with Banish. Ouch. That is an army built to kill fell beasts and ring wraiths, in my opinion. An amazing army, never been beaten. And then he brought him to the Scouring of Cheshire, and he did very, very well. And then he came across me, and unfortunately with a single dice roll my Gondorian troops were able to take that 1 wound on Bard the General to steal, and I must say it was a stealing win that I took, because it was so close to the wire the whole way through. Jay, fantastic player. He outplayed me. He usually does. But then something usually twists and turns, and a dice roll my way, or a movement my way, or something like that. And as it turned out, he was just about to break me. I did that wound on Bard. I held back from being broken. Game was over. Myself, Jay, we're going to have a rematch. I know it. I can feel it already. I have to defend my my Gondorian fluke. I had taken Boromir, and Boromir was just shut down for the whole game. Really, really cool. As I said, Jay is an amazing player. So, basically, we crack on from there, and we're going into Mr. James Braun's Rivendell Knights. Now, wow, I love the paint job on these guys. They are just amazing. That green really accentuates them. It really makes them pop out, in fact. Also, I believe up the top we may have an Elrond there. And again, there's something white there. Could that be a Saruman? Or could that be even a Gandalf the White? I didn't know. Unfortunately, the army wasn't fully set out. But James Braun, fantastic player. Okay, and then this next army is Gandalf the Grey on horse. It's Thorin Oakenshield with Orcrist. It's a Ranger of the North on a horse. There's Legolas in there as well. There's a few Wood Elf supporters and a few Wood Elf archers. There's Khazad-Guard. There's normal dwarves. There's a banner. That was a nasty army. I thought I'd really struggle with that. myself and Dave, we got pitched first game on whole ground, and I'm just managed to pull the win from that game. But Dave, an amazing player, consistently top 10, definitely top 5, top 6 consistently as well. Okay, so again, it was an amazing army. It's something that I hadn't thought about coming up against, even in a non-competitive mode. But yeah, it was a really good game. And here we have the Goblin King with some Goblin Town goblins mixed in with a Maria. It looks like a shaman on the front part with Gundabad black shields with some Goblin Town supports. And also I think there's some Fell Wargs in that list as well. Yes, and some more Gundabad black shields with also, as I said, more spear supports. I didn't get a fully good look at the list, but yeah, it would have been interesting to play that. That would have been very interesting. Okay, and so again we're back into goblins, and this time it's Maria goblins. Is that Gorblog in the front? Over on the far left, I see the Spider Queen, coupled with her Brewlings, of course. Then I see some Goblin Prowlers in the middle. There is the Shadow Lord. A few Fell... Is there... I could have this wrong. I thought I saw some Fell Wargs in this list. No, just Goblins. Is that Ashrak, I see? Wow. Yeah, there was a Fell Warg in there, or two. So yeah, what a lovely, lovely list. I mean, I love the fact that there's so many different variations of people, what people bring. Now, this was a list by Dominic Lindus, and it is awesome. These are beautiful ring rates on horses. We have the Knight of Umbar, we have the Undyne, we have the Dwimmelake, we have the Shadow Lord, we have Kmull, the Easterling, and then we have a generic ring rate. But look at that red. Look at that red pops out from that dynamic blue. And even the bases he brought. He's not only got his own snow-speckled base for each model, but he's also got a lovely base that he's made up himself, I believe. And the foot models as well. Wow. When I first saw that army, I went, stunning. Now this army is Bjorn and Treebeard and a couple of Ents. Now that would have been a frightening army for me to come up against. That would have been mash, bash, crash. Again, totally dependent upon the scenario. Now I've got to take a stop at this. This is Mr. James Clark's famous Riders of Rohan, and it is a beautiful army. It is Eowyn. There looks like there's Eomer in there. There's plenty of Sons of Earl. Palace, I can't remember the name of those ones. He's got some Outriders in the back. Normal Riders of Rohan. I believe that looks like a Strider / Aragorn in the very front. In fact, leading out from Helm's Deep to take on the might of Mr. Adam Troke. Adam Troke and his Eastling warrior priest, leading a horde of Eastling pikemen up the road towards Helm's Deep. Coupled with that, he has Andur, and he has a unit of Eastling archers, and Kmull. Kmull on a horse, just tidying up this army, giving this the best themed army prize of the event. Impressive to say the least. Now, this army here is Isengard, and the reason I like this army is because it has pikes. Now, I'm adverse to using pikes. I've tried them, they didn't fit with my meta. I couldn't see how they could really be devastating until I came across them. When they're behind a berserker, you're now getting 3 dice in every combat. That's a hero rolling 3 dice. Fight 4, ouch. And here he has 12 pikemen behind 12 berserkers. He has Verascu and 11 crossbowmen. He has Saruman on a horse. And he has hidden behind Saruman, if you look closely, there's a Grima sniffling his nose. Right, what an amazing army. It gives me concerns when I see it. Yes, and now here we have Gary Doyle's Ruffian army. Now this is a lovely, lovely army. It is filled to the brim with gorgeous models that can only be described as just the whole idea behind it is just amazing. I can't say any more about it. I played against it. I suppose that's what I could say about it. I did a little. I did a little video of it, and just to show you, you can see basically the fantastic hill that was made by Steve Crow, the Hobbit Hill, and look at all of those ruffians. We started off with Sharky and Worm, and scanning down now we can see some orc supports. There's a banner, an orc banner in there as well. More ruffians, and we have quite a few of the heroes as well. And the heroes that he used were basically, I mentioned Sharky and I mentioned Worm, but he also had Trident, and he had the Witch King, and he also had, and I always get this name wrong, Glorfindel? I can never get it right. Yeah, all mounted, all nasty, and all causing a serious punch. But yeah, so what an amazing, amazing little army. After that then, the next army that crops up is going to be, just need to scroll on here, horrible pausing. Ah yes, Ed Ball's Fell Beasts. Quite poignant, that pause, I think, then. Now, Ed Ball is an amazing person, an amazing player. Got a lot of time for him, a lot of love for him. But he tends to hide away his models when they're not on the table. He doesn't particularly like the limelight. And to be honest, Ed, you should be out there, mate. You're an ambassador. You know so much about this game. You're a delightful person to sit down and have a chat with. And you are a fantastic person to play against. I love our mental games. I love the games on the table. A lot of time for Mr. Ed Ball. What did he bring? He brought Shellop. He brought the... Now, I don't know exactly what he brought here in terms of rates, but his norm, and it would fit this as well, would be the Undyne, the Knight of Umbar, Cumul, and then I believe the Witch King, to be able to fluctuate some points to allow Shellop to come in. I reckon he may have spent 150 points on the Witch King, and that sounds about right. Okay, so the next army then is hobbits, and hobbits galore. I see in there that we've got Galadriel, we've got Saruman. That would have been Saruman, not Saruman the Wise, because mounted. There was some Galadriel Court Guard in there, and there's some Wood Elves. Nice army. Don't know who fielded it, but looked really nice. And then the next one we have is Imral leading some knights, and they are lovely. I do love the models. I do love the idea of the knights. And then we have Army of the Dead, led by King of the Dead, and there's Forlorn the Fat as well. On top here we have, I believe these to be Rangers of the North or Rangers of Ithilien. Not too sure. Nice combination. Nice army. Very interesting. Army of the Dead. 6 defense. Difficult to charge depending on your troops, and most definitely they wound against your courage. Against evil, that's very painful. That's very painful indeed. So I love the piece of scenery as well. Scenery is really, really nice. Okay, so cracking on now, we have the full High Elf army. This is just amazing. I love the idea of it. We don't see that many on tournaments, just pure High Elves. Let's break it down. So that looks like Elrond on the far right. It looks like Gilgalad possibly in the middle with a shield. And then it looks like just an elf captain leading an array of high elves, both elven blades, archers, and high elf spearmen. Really nice models. Got some myself, hoping to look to paint them up. I have yet to decide on the colour. And then the final one that we have is my Gondor army. At least I know who had that one. The Gondor army, so it's led by Boromir, who's at the back. I was really fortunate to get this stuff onto the Osgiliath table. Really beautifully done, this whole table. Boromir leading 7 knights. Then we have Beregond leading Fountain Court Guard. We have what looks like a unit of Warriors of Minas Tirith, but actually that unit is there just for the photograph. They're actually mixed in with the other units. And then we have Faramir leading, I thought thematically he should lead the veterans of Osgiliath. So the Osgiliath veterans, as they're legitimately called. And then I have Damrod leading the Rangers. So yeah, and those were the armies, guys. Not much else to write home about, except I've just forgotten quite a few of the armies. So the next army we have is actually Mr. Tom Harrison. And Mr. Tom Harrison brought Azog, Nazgul, 1 or 2 others I believe, and Thelwargs and Hunter Orcs and Gundabad Orcs. It was a lovely army. I'm not too familiar with Thelwargs and Hunter Orcs because I've never actually personally used them myself. I've only played against them once or twice, but they took me by surprise, and some of the things that they did in the hands of Tom Harrison, I got decimated. No way of tidying that up. He really took me to town yet again. I've never beaten him. I've never beaten him. I hang my head high in shame. Okay. And then my second loss happens to be with his GBHL Palantir partner, Mr. Damien Byrne, with his famous and horrible Isengard army. Well, not horrible, it's a very good army. He knows how to play with it, and he plays it well. He uses crossbows better than I do, and he's got a lot more time, effort and faith, in crossbows than I do, and it bids him well, should I say. Okay, so what have we got? We've got Saruman on horse, we have Grima Wormtongue, we have, I believe, Vrasku's in there, we have Tridon on a horse, we have an Orkai Shaman, we have, I think, 10 9 or 10 crossbowmen. We have 10, 12 berserkers, and I think there were 1 or 2 ferals in there as well. Damien played an outstanding game. He always does. I do enjoy my games against Damien in tournaments. I have a lot of time and respect for the guy. So, yeah. Tom and Damien, I get hammered each and every occasion. Although Damien might actually turn around and say it wasn't Seize the Prize, and unfortunately, therefore, I believe it was a legitimate win for him. Anyway, my next army up is actually Josh Triffitt fielding Mordor. And Mordor with the... Did he use the Knight of Umbar? I believe he may have used the Knight of Umbar here. And he used Moran Orcs. I think Shagrat's in there, and there's a fantastic, beautifully painted, down the bottom left hand corner, a Moran Orc Shaman. And I love the dark, creamy cloak as it flows. It really brings out the dynamic aspect of the model, and if you check out the banner as well, that's quite beautiful. So what an amazing army. Very, very good friend, Josh, and very, very good player as well. But yeah, that was an army he was testing around with, and I think it worked out well. Now here we have Mr. Will Champion's army, and Will Champion brought Saruman, he brought Rummel, he brought Gladriel, he brought Gladriel warriors. There's some beautifully painted miniatures, especially on those white bases as well. And on top of that, he brought, I believe he brought Legolas, leading a lot of wood elves. Lovely army. Don't know how Will got on. I think he got on quite well in the tournament. Great player yet again. I've played quite a few games against him, and they've all been tough games. And then I think that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I did mention at the start that we've got a few more bits and pieces that we'd like to add to the channel. I need to speak to Owen more, but let me just say that there's news on the way. I'm going to the gym, so I'm losing weight. No, that's not necessarily the lose. The news. I am taking a leaf out of Dan Entwistle and Mr. Ed Ball, and well done to you guys. Keep up the hard work. You're actually enthusing the rest of us to get out there to the gym, to get things done, and to try and endeavour to lose some pounds. So listen, I'm going to wrap up this video now. Congrats to Steve for getting the ticket. Congrats to Steve Crow for his event. Good luck, Dan, on your event. Also, I'm off to Dublin myself for an event in Ireland this weekend, so I can't be there. I do apologise, Dan. I hope you've liked the video, guys. Do us a favour. If there's anything that you'd like to see on the channel, please comment below. Seriously, I've got a few comments that I'm trying to work through, and next week onwards I'm going to start developing more videos to cover those. A bit of news to go with that as well, and some exciting bits and pieces. Remember, the whole idea is that we want to try and build this channel as a channel that informs you about up and coming tournaments. But I'd like to make it interesting as well for the people who've honoured us with their subscription. They really appreciate the support. And just to wait for that bit of news, if that's what you want, that's fair enough. I kind of get the impression you might want more, so please comment below, and we'll try and fill this channel with stuff. At the same time, we don't want to be stepping on other people's feet, and I don't think a complete replica of other channels and what they do is ideal for us. I think that we can tap into little bits here and there. But I think if each channel has their own identity, it makes it more interesting. The whole idea, guys, is we just want to build the community and keep it building. It's a fantastic hobby. It's a fantastic community. It's a worldwide community. And Yeah. So as Owen would say, like, share, subscribe, all the belows, and look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, you take care. Bye for now.